Aw, it looks like another great asynchronous summer school class has come to an end. Now it's time to look back on everything I've learned one last time until I'm stressed about it in grade 11 and 12 because for some reason I chose to be an orthodontist. Now I'm not too sure if I'm going to pass all these classes that I'm going to need to be an orthodontist, but at least we have them all planned out. So it makes it a little bit less stressful. Now let's fast forward through grade 10. Because right now, there's not really any classes that I can take to better prepare for being an orthodontist. Look at all the super hard classes I'm going to need to take in grade 11 and 12. As you can see from the projection in the back, I'm going to need to take some really hard sciences. And while I hope I'll be fine managing the class on my own, I have made plans with my parents to get a tutor if needed to help me advance to the level of these classes. Because I'm going to need to take some pretty advanced classes to get into the university that I want to get into. The University of Toronto. The reason that I want to go to the University of Toronto is because it offers some dentistry and orthodontic courses. And after a short 11 to 13 years of getting my undergrad degree, middle school, some general residency and orthodontic residency, able to fix people's teeth. Probably be able to earn some of that money back as an orthodontist. I'm still gonna have to pay for equipment, the residence, the meal plan, and everything else that I'm gonna need to be an orthodontist. I needed to think of a plan. So I plan to take a year off of school to do some work to make that money to go to university. But where will I work? Sure. Wait, I mean, I wasn't sure, but then I took a deep look into my values and my skills, and I did some research. I filled out this graphic organizer. I found out what values and strengths and skills I had so that I can pick a job that kind of reflects that. On my chart that a lot of my values lie in wanting to be respectful to people. And a lot of my skills deal with speaking to people. And some of my interests lie in food. So, my gap year job will probably be possibly working at some kind of high-end restaurant. I can utilize my values of being respectful to people, and I can also use my transferable skills of collaboration, communication, creativity, and a couple of my strengths, like acting and people skills. And I can do all of this while raising money for my education. I'm very sorry, but I cannot tell you exactly which restaurant I would be working at in this gap year because I need to wait for which ones are hiring at the time and which ones need servers and stuff like that. But you know what? Picking out what you want to generally do actually helps relieve a lot of stress. I know how I'm gonna make money! But shoot, how am I gonna know to keep my money and not lose an also credit card debt? Well, yay, I learned that too. Going over every single financial literacy worksheet I've ever done in this class, I'm just gonna go over 2 solid points that pretty much sum up everything I'm gonna live by for the rest of my life. I'm gonna keep track of all my expenses in a notebook, and I'm gonna keep track of all the money that I've spent. I'll know exactly if I'm spending more money than I'm making, and a place to start a budget from. I'll know exactly how much you need to save, and how little you need to spend. Hey, now I know how to save money, so maybe I'll eat something other than ramen noodles as an adult. But how do I borrow money? Understand the importance of credit cards. Now, the last thing I want to do is ruin my credit score as a teenager and have that affect the rest of my life. Credit score is connected to almost every loan and payment and borrowing money thingamajig that I will ever do for the rest of my life. But what I'm going to do is only use my credit card when it is super important and I know I have the funds to pay it back at the end of the month. My best to pay exactly on time every single month and I don't ruin my credit score. Now, all that's left is my brand. And if I'm being honest, I haven't really planned any of my social media accounts for my future job. When I make my videos, I'm not really thinking about how future employers are going to see me. What I say is, I really need to start thinking about doing that. And I'm going to change my brand using my social media platform. Social media companies, and I'm not afraid of people watching me perform. I'm going to make acting a large part of my brand too. I might start posting some scenes that I'm doing on YouTube so that people can see that I'm actually interested in acting. I also want to show companies that I have a drive to achieve high goals. And I want to make academics a bigger part of my brand as a whole. I might even begin posting more goal-oriented topics on my social medias. Post the goals, people will see that I have these goals, and then because I don't want to let them down, I'll have more motivation to achieve them. Goals are big or small, I believe that they have a very important place in our lives. Because as we make goals, it's like we're planning little parts of our life. And I think that can help relieve a lot of stress and confusion for a lot of people is to finish this video. And I think I'm just about to achieve it. Patel, I have not seen you in person or on call, but the couple of emails that we exchanged, you seemed very nice. Thank you for being my summer school teacher. I will remember you. Will you remember me? I don't know the rest of this song, so I'm just gonna stop right now. And yes, with all my skills and my entire life plan, that's why you should hire me as a research biologist at the Amphibian and Reptile Conservation Center of Canada.